Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Wednesday, the 15th of June, 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about. Let's jump into it. Story number 1. It was looking like a much better day on the ASX today, but then there was a late afternoon sell-off. And the S&P ASX 200 finished the day down 1.3% to 6,601 points. It's the lowest close this year, the fourth day in a row of negative returns, and about 80% of companies lost ground. The overriding sentiment is concerned that sharply higher inflation will trigger much higher interest rates and potentially put the local economy into a severe slowdown or possibly a recession. All 12 categories of the index fell today, led by tech, real estate, energy and healthcare. All the major banks went backwards, though Macquarie Group recorded a slight rise. The big miners were mixed. Fortescue ended up 0.3% after a big sell-off on Tuesday. James Hardie Industries and REA Group both closed down more than 6%. Xero was off 5.6%, and Goodman, Cochlear and WiseTech Global fell more than 4%. Special shout out to Telstra though. It ended the day up 2.3%. Worst of the top 200 was Novonix, off 13%, while Megaport was down 11%. Best on the day was PolyNovo, up nearly 5%. Story number 2. The Fair Work Commission today handed down an increase in the minimum pay rate of 5.2%. It came as consumer confidence figures hit their lowest level since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe appeared on the ABC last night and said inflation would reach 7% this year, meaning the Reserve Bank needs to take decisive action. He said it was reasonable to expect the cash rate to reach 2.5% from its current level of 0.85%. That means the standard variable mortgage rate in Australia will push beyond 6%. Story number 3. Medical device maker ResMed has bid $1 billion for a German medical software company. The group, Medifox Dan, will complement ResMed's US-based SaaS business and boost its existing activities in cloud-connected medical devices. It will help patients, particularly with sleep apnea and other respiratory conditions. It's ResMed's third large acquisition in the software space and the largest to date. ResMed's share price fell nearly 2% today. Story number 4. The Aussie dollar came off its lows today, having at one point overnight dropped to 68.5 US cents. Higher bond yields, better than expected industrial output figures in China, and the prospect of higher interest rates helped the local currency. It's currently trading around 79 US cents. And story number 5, it's a big night for the US Federal Reserve. The Fed Open Market Committee meets and is expected to lift interest rates by between 50 and 100 basis points. That comes after annual inflation hit a 40-year high last month. At least when the decision is announced about 4 a.m. East Coast time in Australia, investors will know what's happening. All the uncertainty in markets has contributed to the massive sell-off during this past week. This morning, Wall Street was down again, though nowhere near as much as recent sessions. The broad-based S&P 500 finished off 0.4% lower, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq finished down 0.2%. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 15th of June, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Thursday Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.